So it's your first installment of Mind Your Business for 2022. We're going to continue with this amazing segment where we give SMEs, those coming forward with their business, a chance to promote and really give us the genesis behind why they got in the business in the first place, why they're getting into business, and what's the directive. And of course, our very first guest, lots of meaning and serious thought and consideration went into her opening her business. It's a bookstore, it's an online bookstore, and there's a brick and mortar experience there in St. James at the Red Edge Mall. We welcome Nika Ruiz Montalvo. Yes.
Good morning.
That's right. Welcome, welcome. You're the owner of My Reflection TT, a bookstore with a difference.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about the difference and why you decided to jump into business, and more specifically, a bookstore.
Okay, what happened is that in last year, when George Floyd was murdered so callously, it really upset me to see how he was treated, as if it just didn't matter. So I decided, okay, I want to do something so that little children growing up in this world that is, where there's so much injustice and so on, can feel as if they matter. So I decided to, first of all, make a change in my son's bookshelf. So I went through his bookshelf, and I saw that all the characters in all of his books were either animal characters or like talking trucks or Caucasian characters. He didn't even have one character in the book that looked like him. And I said, you know what, it would really affirm him if he had books with characters that look like him. So I went to a few local bookstores trying to find some children's books with characters of color, and I found very, very few. So I decided to make a difference, open up my own bookstore, where for children specifically focused on characters of color, so children could really feel affirmed when they read books by seeing characters that look like them in their books. So I did some research. I did a whole lot of research about children's books, and I realized that 50% of characters in children's books are Caucasian, 27% are animals or like talking trucks, talking cars, and all the other characters' books are focused on characters of color, 23%. Only 23% of children's books have characters of color. So I decided, I want to make a difference and have a bookstore where the primary focus is on characters of color, so that my child and other children going from Trinidad and Tobago could see themselves in the books they read.
Wow, very, very serious thought and consideration. And you would have done research. Those stats you just called, that was based on your research?
Yes, based on statistics coming out of the US. We import most of our books in Trinidad, like we don't really. We have a lot of local authors, but the majority of our books are imported. So based on international statistics, those are the trends. 50% are Caucasian characters, 27% animals are other, and 23% are visible minorities, meaning African, Asian, Hispanic, Native American. They make up the other 23%.
Interesting. Tell me about the response thus far. I know you started online, and then you went forward with the brick and mortar at the Red Edge Mall there, that shopping zone in St. James. But what's the response been like online and, of course, via the walk-in store?
Well, the response online, it started quite slow. Like I started it last year, January. I got a few orders, mostly from friends and relatives who just trying to show me support. But then a lot of people started saying that, I'm not satisfied with the online store. I want to actually see the books and flip through the books, look at the pictures before I make a decision to buy the book. And so that's why I said, okay, I'm going to open up a physical store. Okay, I do understand that. It's so nice to go to the bookstore and flip through the pictures and, flip through, see how thick the book is, and just read a few pages to see if it's really something that you would like. So I opened up the brick and mortar store in October at Red Edge, and the response has been really good. Every month, the sales are going up and up and up. And I got so many calls from so many local authors who want to get their books in my store, and I have gotten quite a lot of local books into the store. So I'm very excited about that opportunity to support our local authors as well.
Indeed, and I know any initiative to get children reading is always a good look. But why does representation matter? I want you again go back into the crux of it, because here it is, you are really zoning into a particular kind of book with characters that reflect, as far as you would have mentioned there, what the children are reading. They can see, I guess, themselves in a smaller version via the book. Why does that level of representation truly matter?
Well, I think books are meant to be both mirrors and windows. You get a mirror experience when you see someone like you, someone like you in a book, like your same sex, your gender, your color, your hair texture, So you get a mirror experience when you see a child in a book that looks like you. You also get, but books are also meant to be windows, and when you see someone does not look like you, a different gender, a different race, from a different country, different religion. So you need both the mirror experience and the window experience. But if all the books in your children's bookshelves are Caucasian characters or animals or trucks, your child never sees someone with hair like them or a nose like them or features like them, then your child will never get that mirror experience, only getting a window experience, which is not healthy.
I recognize you've also written articles on the matter. You are also, I guess, an author yourself, huh? Yeah, you also do your writing.
Well, no, I don't write books, but I do write a blog. I have a blog about the importance of reading because I really think we need to get children excited about reading again. Like in this day and age, we're in the screen age where children spend a lot of time in front of a screen. And with this pandemic, it's even more so because children have to spend like 6 hours a day in front of a screen doing online classes. And I think we need to really get away from that obsession with screen time, with laptops and tablets and cell phones. You need to get children excited about reading because when you actually read a book, it actually does expand your brain matter. And it gives you a different view of the world. It stimulates your imagination in different ways. It really boosts your intelligence. Reading is such an important skill. Like Barack Obama said, that reading makes all other learning possible. So we need to get books into our children's hands early and often. And I really do believe in that. Because when I was young, believe me, I read and read and read. I had every book by Enid Blyton, Judy Blume, I was always reading. And I really think it helped to improve my grammar, expand my vocabulary, and just get me excited about learning. And I think that's something that parents need to really reinforce, that importance of active reading rather than just passively looking at a screen, looking at TV or playing with the iPad.
And you're a mother with a son who I would imagine would have passed on that tradition to your son. Is it something that you have to start very early? Because not every child would be so inclined, but I guess if the encouragement is there from very early, the reading will be a natural process, yes?
Oh, yes. I've been reading to my son since he was 3 days old. Every day, I incorporate the reading into our bedtime routine. So every night we read about 2 or 3 books. We started with picture books, so now that he's 5 years old, I bought in chapter books, and every night I read him a chapter. And I really have done everything I can to get him excited about reading. I say, Matthew, going to the store to buy a new book, and get him all excited. And we go together, and he gets to pick out a book, and he really loves to read. And that is helping him to do well in all of his subjects. And I think that's something parents need to really reinforce. If your child doesn't like to read, you make them like reading. You get them excited. Make it part of the bedtime routine. Say, hugging up together on the couch, reading a book. And it makes them feel like associate reading with love and comfort and one-on-one attention, which is something children do benefit from.
Excellent. Well said. Nika, how can folks go online and see what's on offer? And of course, the brick and mortar store, Red Edge, are still very much open. Give us the opening hours.
Okay, we open at Red Edge every day, Monday to Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And we also have an online bookstore, www.myreflectiontt.com. So you can order your books online, and the books will be shipped directly to your door via TT Post.
Excellent. Any closing remarks, Nika, before we wrap things up?
Okay, well, I have 3 missions. My mission is threefold: representation, affirmation, inspiration. Representation in terms of children seeing themselves in the books, in terms of people of color. Affirmation, I have a lot of books that focus on loving your hair and loving yourself, loving just self-love and affirmation. And inspiration, I have a lot of focus on books with STEAM characters, like characters in science, technology, engineering, art, and math, STEAM, to get children excited about what they can do in those careers. Because you need to really get our children excited about becoming engineers and doctors and scientists and mathematicians, because that will really help us to develop as a nation.
Nika, all the best, and thanks for being the first inside the Mind Your Business segment for 2022.
Thank you so much for having me.
Most welcome. Nika, they're touching base. Mind Your Business, a segment that we thoroughly enjoyed last year, and we will continue in this calendar year 2022. We come back and find out what's happening with PAN. The PAN Moving Forward president joins us for a big competition happening. It's called the Jam Your Set PAN competition. We discuss PAN up next. Stick around.